Hey, good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but well, actually I'm right on time. I just didn't have a countdown. That's all right. So, good evening, Carrie and Mike and Tutu Cat. Hey, you made it. And Brenda's here, and of course Attila, our best companion ever and awesome moderator. So, I know a few people will show up very shortly because they said they would be here, so we'll chit chat a little bit. Going through just got like 9 million messages. So hey, good evening, Carrie. Hey, Hungry Heath. So what was for dinner? I know that you guys eat dinner right as this live stream starts. I see that Carrie has put some of my information about our coffee tonight. So I'm gonna hang tight on that though before I read them because we're gonna talk about it. So. And Carrie's joke of the day says, why is Sunday stronger than Monday? Because Monday is a weekday. I'll tell you, I'm not ready for Monday. It's going to be quite the work week. So I'll tell you that tonight I'm going to go ahead and start brewing the coffee and then we'll talk about it. But I'll show you the groovy package. I know it's hard to see because it's a shiny, very eclectic package, but it is Dark Magic coffee. It's and this is the Unicorn Blood Blend. So we'll talk about that. Hey, good evening, the Warden and Jennifer. Nice to see you. So we're going to start with brewing, and I have my water all set and ready to go. Hungry Heath said they had a bunless bacon cheeseburger. Oh, let me tell you about the burgers I had yesterday. I had to run to the grocery real quick, and in the meat section, they always have like an area where they put the stuff up that's not going to that's going to expire in the next day or so. And they had these 2 giant burgers with the chunks of cheddar cheese in it. It was probably about a pound. I can't remember exactly, but oh my goodness, it was $3, and then it had a sticker on it, manager special with a 50% tear off coupon. So I bought those, ran home, and I threw them in before I had to head out for my other activities, which I'll share with you guys. It'll be real nerdy to talk about though. So what I've done is I've put my grounds in. You guys, it's still the V60. Anytime I have like a new special coffee like that, I'm probably going to go with the V60. I have a new device that I kind of want to share with some of you guys. Hey, good evening, Rickwin and Patty. Thanks for joining us. So, let's see. So I've got that, and always put in your measure of coffee, and then you make a little divot right in the middle. So, oh, Hungry Heath says they found one-third pound patties, pre-formed, $12 a dozen. That's a great deal. So I'll grab my water. And when you're brewing with the V60, I'll keep repeating this in case someone hasn't seen me make a pour over. Any pour over coffee you do, you should follow this pouring method. You have your divot in the middle, and then you bring this and you pour right in the middle, and then you swirl towards the outside. Initially, you only put enough water so that you bloom your coffee, which means all of the coffee grounds absorb some water and swell up. And you leave it like that for about a minute. Put that back on there. Tell it to hold the temperature. Let that sit. Let's see. Oh, I just turned my dishwasher on. There we go. So, if I lean on the counter, hey, good evening, Rocky Mountain Girl. Good to see you. And let's see if I've missed anything. No, just lots of hellos back and forth. Let's see. Carrie says his next grocery shop he might get bologna. Because he did get some from H-E-B that was good. He'll so be eating a lot of eggs and organ meats and bologna. We have a bologna from one of our butchers that is actually really nice and is quite well done. And I like to enjoy that once in a while. But because it's high quality ingredients and not the fillers like the commercial bologna, it's not exactly always cheap. So, you know, you do what you gotta do. I'm gonna turn my griddle on to preheat and get that going. I know that we just made pancakes, and we just made pancakes with coconut flour, but as you recall, we have ricotta cheese in this household, and that makes you think of Italian, doesn't it? So one of the things that I loved pre-keto were ricotta pancakes. And I know there are like 9 million recipes for ricotta pancakes on the internet. A lot of them are, well, not a lot of them, but there are a lot of keto versions. Some use coconut flour, some use almond flour. I've decided to just wing it, and in the past I've used almond flour and they were pretty good. So this time I'm going to try coconut flour, so the recipe's untested, but I did like all the mathing in my head, so it should be fine. How bad could it be? What's the worst thing that happens? So yeah, so Hungry He says he's never heard of ricotta pancakes. Ricotta pancakes, it's an Italian thing. They're really nice. They come out really fluffy, but they've got that a bit of sweetness from the ricotta. If you ever eat like a big spoon of ricotta, you know that it has that taste, that sweet taste to it. And when you add the little bit of vanilla, and in my case tonight, I said it was optional, but I'm adding lemon zest. And lemon zest, it just adds something. And lemon ricotta pancakes is often the most common recipe that you'll find when they talk about ricotta pancakes. I tried to see what you wrote before I delete it, Brenda. You'll have to retype, because now I'm curious. Oh, Tutu Cat says we'll have to do a roll call of various animals that will eventually walk by. I'm not sure who walked by, but I thought I heard Dyson on the floor. So that's the small, white, fluffy little Pomeranian dog. Other than that, the most likely the most likely animal you see is Balius. Everyone else pretty much scatters. Oh, and Carrie says his ricotta had a sour taste that he liked when he had it. It should not have a sour taste to it. It should be very, very mild and kind of sweet. So it might have been a questionable ricotta. So good to know. Although, I don't know, I've seen some people, and sometimes when we make our own ricotta at home, it does get a little bit tangier than commercial. So maybe it was just a handmade ricotta. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and get the second pour. Now we're going to brew in earnest, because this has sat here. The grounds have fully swollen up. And you do the same thing. Even though the divot has swollen and folded, you start in the middle and you swirl your way out. And that technique, what that does is it helps bring the crema to the top. As you might recall, if you've been here for a while, since we haven't said it in a while, I'm going to say it now. The crema is actually the oils of the bean. As you heat it up, it gets that foamy froth on the top. And with our coffee, we need a spoon to give it a quick little stir. When you do a pour over, you give it one stir one direction and then another stir the other direction. And we'll just set that. And now what we'll do is we'll release it so it can begin to do the drawdown. Voila, coffee. Hey, Gigi's here. Nice to see you. Oh, and J-Dog has joined us. It's good afternoon. That's right, because you're in Arizona. Oh, I have something to tell you about as far as Arizona goes. Crazy stuff. So yesterday I spent a bunch of time with my friend, and he saw on the back of a car, because we were driving around, a sign for The Thing. And he was like, oh, I remember that movie. And I was like, movie? I know there was a movie, but I don't think when I look at that of the movie. And I started telling him about, in Arizona, they have like that big little side touristy trap. Here near Ohio, Indiana line, we actually, instead of The Thing, we just have a big fancy candle shop. It stinks to high heaven from all of the gross candle smell. But I just remember the thing from when I was little, and he was like completely surprised because he'd never been to the area, and I thought everybody knew about the thing. And as we got closer to the car, he was like, "Hey, you're right. At the bottom of the bumper sticker, it says Arizona." So that also made me think of you, J-Dog, and how much I envy your weather, because right now the idea of going out to use the Blackstone or the smoker, it's so unappealing. I just don't want to because I am cold. The cold is impacting my arthritis, actually the high fluctuating of the temperatures. Hey, Alan's Awesome Keto World. Good evening. Nice to see you. So, Carrie says I'm going to get jacked up because the coffee's supposed to be strong. So here's the thing about that is yes and no, because it's still 100% Arabica beans. If I were going to get hopped up on the coffee, we're going Robusto. So we'll be all right though. Also, I've been a little tired today because I hadn't been drinking my electrolytes the way I should, and I definitely felt a little grogginess. So, but there's our delightful coffee. And do the sink for later. Earlier, I was very upset because I thought my V60 was broken, but there was actually just like a little coffee bean that had gotten into the mechanism. So I don't even know how a whole coffee bean got in there. So anyways, it's good to see so many people this evening. I gotta change a setting here on this because it's, there we go. In theory, that should put the chat in order. Oh, and J-Dogs, the 60s would be heavenly. I would be stoked for it to be in the 60s. It is still hitting freezing here in Ohio. I can't get over it. You're supposed to be spring. Anyway, so this is the Unicorn Blood Dark Matter Coffee. Now let's get our pancake mix together and get those going, and then I'll give you the rundown about this groovy coffee. So I have here a cup of ricotta, and these pancakes are so easy, and I hope the coconut flour works the way it's supposed to, because with almond flour they're like stupid easy. So, and I know we did coconut flour pancakes recently. In case you didn't know, I love pancakes, so I have a lot of different pancake recipes. So, oh, Rocky Mountain Girl says it's 43 and they're in heaven today. Well, see, 43 is still too cold for me to go outside and ride my bike. I really need it to hit at least 55 so that I can go outside. The nice thing is with these pancakes, everything just gets mixed in together in one bowl. So you got your 4 eggs. So, which my eggs look gorgeous, and they get kind of washed out here on the YouTube channel. Which, why is it doing this again? I got to do another setting on the fly. Oh my! Let's see. Configuring my video. It is. I don't know why it keeps putting this weird autofocus. It toggles it back on, but that makes it like strobe a little bit, and I don't care for it. So I tell it to just, if it's gonna look bad, it's just gonna look bad. I don't need it to try and autofocus. I think it actually disrupts the video even more. At any rate, so the eggs, it just reminded me, I'm gonna put my vanilla. I was just like randomly going through, like, I think it was like TikTok or Shorts or something, and one of the channels has a guy who's been making pasta. I know we don't do pasta, but it was still fascinating. And what he did was every day he's making a batch of the pasta from scratch. Every day he doubles the amount of eggs he uses, so it increases the size of the batch. And I loved seeing the gloriousness of all of his egg yolks because they were such a wide variety of colors that it was fantastic to me. Let's see, Rickwin says he's in the 30s, so in Georgia, so the dogwoods are toast. Yeah, we have one daffodil that has made it, and the rest, I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, Jennifer bought Zip Fizz before she knew it had caffeine. It was intended as a rare treat, so you'll dilute it more. And if it doesn't work for you and you don't like the Zip Fizz, bring it to the indie meetup, or if you're coming to the Ohio meetup, and we'll just buy it off you. But I like, because we have no problems with that, and actually because my B12 runs low, if I don't want to get shots from the doctor, which I do not because they burn, I like to boost with it a lot because it's a mega dose. So even if all of it doesn't absorb, it often keeps me just a little bit low as opposed to a lot low. So I take what I gotta do. So let me see. And now I'm gonna just dump that coconut flour in. Easy. And I've got my lemon zest, but you guys, I don't know if I've showed you my zester before, but it's the ultimate in cute. And so I really wanted to share it with you. You guys, look, it looks like a mini little cheese grater. It's only like 2 inches, but it has all the same sides as like a cheese grater. It has slightly larger holes, smaller holes, a little slice, and then the microplane on the side. I just find that, you know, I really love things that are just kitschy like that. So I just wanted to share it with you. I know it's kind of a dumb thing, but it's just fun. So my lemon zest, which, you know, you can see on the plate, just throw that right in. And there we go. Oh yeah, and Jennifer agrees, the B12 shots do burn. I don't know, man, it's just, I don't like it. And I use a balloon whisk because it helps break up the eggs. But once the batter gets thick, because the coconut flour is so absorbent, I forgot an ingredient. Hang on. There we go. Sorry about that. My heavy cream. A 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and I measured it out, and I forgot to get it out. So let me add that in. That'll help. Let's see. There we go. Now it's got enough moisture. I was like, man, that's thicker than usual. Maybe I went overboard on the coconut flour, but now it's just right. Let's see. Oh, Tutu Q Cat also agrees that it's an adorable little mini cheese grater. Let's see. Sharon says the porks are wrapped and in the oven. Naked thighs are in the crock pot. Chicken skins. Ooh, nice and crispy chicken skins. I vote yes. So we went ahead and I bought corned beef because, well, it was $3.99 a pound at Kroger. So I think I'm going to want to add just a smidge more liquid to this. So, because they do seem, it's a little bit too thick. Like, I should have listened to my own advice when I said 4 to 6 and check your batter thickness first. But did I do that? Of course not. So let me just grab a little bit more cream. And now you guys will know it's Land O'Lakes brand because that's what we buy at Costco, and they had it in stock. I know that you all are familiar with some of the things going out of stock. Let's see. Oh, Air Fry Nanny says hello. Our other amazing, awesome moderator says her mom gave her a break from her 60s British mysteries. So I definitely use too much coconut flour. But that is why it is easy to simply thin it out a little bit. And the thing is I also forgot the baking soda, the rising agent. We'll be needing that. So we'll keep mixing. I'm losing it tonight. And yes, baking soda, not baking powder. I'm sure that you could do the conversion for baking soda to baking powder, but in all my life, no Italian that has ever shared their ricotta pancake recipes with me has used baking powder. So I stuck with the baking soda, even though most keto recipes use baking powder. I just felt like there's a reason, and I just go with it. a rising agent. You know, I know they have different properties, but it's pancakes. Pancakes, I've had lots of different recipes that do all kinds of things. It's getting there. So I'm just going to keep adding cream until it's the consistency I like it. And it is a thicker batter. Just so you know, it is a thicker batter because, well, it's a ricotta pancake, not a liquid pancake. Not like traditional pancakes. But it still needs to be scoopable onto the griddle, which has stopped giving off its little layer of smoke. So we are about ready to throw these on there. And I just have it on a medium heat. Ooh, it's too hot. Turn that down a little bit. So it should be on right in the middle. I'm using an electric griddle. You can do these in a cast iron pan with a good amount of butter in it. Butter is nice on these pancakes because it gives them a crispy edge. Carrie's making lots of good puns for us tonight. So yeah, I'm also interested, Shauna, what are the 60s British mysteries that you're watching? So anyways, as you can see, it's a scoopable batter. They do get a bit fluffy and stodgy. And before we throw a scoop down onto the griddle, oh yes. So this will be a repeat coffee in our house. I'm going to throw a little bit of butter onto my griddle. You don't necessarily have to on this one, but I like the flavor. Just give that a little bit of a stir around. You could. And now I'm just going to scoop some batter on there, and we'll only do a couple of pancakes right now just for eating on the channel, and then I'll finish prepping them after the stream. But I think that gives you a good idea how it's kind of like a thick, fluffy texture. And that is exactly how these pancakes should look. We'll let this batter rest. We'll let these cook. It's just like a regular pancake. You gotta wait. Have some patience with your pancakes, friends. So, oh, and Air Fry Annie says the one that they were watching tonight was Heartbeat. So I don't know that one. 16 seasons, my goodness. And Brenda says now she wants pancakes. Ooh, thank you, Sharon. Sharon, as a reminder, hit the thumbs up button because it helps us with our YouTubes. So, it's not a new wave. I saw that pass by. I think it was Jennifer who asked me. This is, I can't remember what it's called. I've posted it before. It's a crepe. It's actually a crepe maker, but I use it for everything. It's the greatest. You know, we're due to replace our stove, and the hood mechanism is still leftovers from the early 70s, and also needs replacing. We're thinking about it, and I just haven't made my decisions or put away all of the funds for it yet. But there's also the thought in my mind that we have the combo air fryer convection mini oven. We could easily get an electric griddle and an Anova and just finish off that top, and actually instead of a stove, an old-fashioned stove, just get more cabinets put in, and then that way we would have increased storage in our kitchen because it's how small it is. There's the part of me that says, oh, but what if we want to sell the house? And I'm like, man, we're looking at retirement age. When we want to sell this house, the stove is the last thing that's going to matter. I'm looking to die here because I don't want to move at my age anymore. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter that much, and then hey, when I die, well, you know, that's a kid's problem, and you know, they can deal. Plus, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about going stoveless? The only thing I worry about, and it's not really a worry per se, but I do like to make full-size trays of bacon. It's pretty much the exclusive use of my oven. We could make small batches, you know. Oh, here it is. I lost my pancake turner. Let me put my cream. Actually, you know what, guys? Let's make some whipped cream for the top. On the fly, we just take our, because why not, right? I know cream has carbs, but guess what? I had some cabbage today and not a lot of it, and then the other food that I ate was corned beef, so I'm not worried about the few little carbs that I'm gonna have from my cream. I think sometimes we demonize it a little too much, and it intimidates people. And of course, if you are sensitive to cream, you definitely would not have cream. But if you don't have issues with it, then you don't have to cut it out. I know that they're still a little soft, so they need a little more time before I flip. It seemed like it was going to go, but at the last second it said not yet. Let me put my oh, see, this is why I say you have to be patient with your pancakes, and plus I made them really fat. So let's see. Oh, and Hunger He says we would keep the vent hood. Well, even if we did go stoveless, we would keep a vent hood. I would still replace that one. It's not an efficient vent hood. It's really old. So, yeah, they're getting there, but they are definitely taking their time to cook. I really want to flip them, and obviously it was too soft. I couldn't get under there. So, but, oh, and Rocky Mountain Girl says their previous owner took their vent hood out. Yeah. Sharon says stoveless could be a good idea. Look at doing a multi-season deck for the Blackstone, and then you'd be all set for bacon. Yeah, I mean, we could easily cook all our bacon on the Blackstone, like I said, or if we had the e-griddle, you could still cook it inside. Or we could do smaller batches, you know, if we had the Innova and this, you got two different little batches there. There are lots of things we could do. It just seems like it's an awfully large amount of space being taken up for a device that we hardly use. So I don't know though, but then again, maybe it's also because it's not level, it's ancient. It was not as ancient as the previous stove that was there. But Attila says, well, I'll just own too much stuff to move anyways, which is true. All right, take two. The other thing is ricotta pancakes are also super delicate. And this is no exception. I need, there we go, a helper. And let me just keep that. There we go. Now they're like pancakes. So they do tend to be very, very soft. Now I feel like maybe I moistened the batter too much. Oh, is Renee here? Sorry. I might have put too much because they're very, okay. But they are looking good. So we just let that go for a little bit longer. So let's see. Rickwood says, unless we're going to move in the next 6 months, we should buy what makes us happy and helps you get the job done. The next generation can worry about things when you're gone. Yeah, that was kind of my thought. Carrie says he thinks the pancakes look good. They do have that right pancake look, don't they? I think it looks, well, I think it looks darker on the camera than they are in real life, because they are exactly like perfect pancake color in here in the kitchen. But, you know. Oh, let's see. J-Dog is asking what channel Heartbeat is on. So, and Air Fryer is saying, Auntie is saying it's on one of the Roku channels. So, we don't have a Roku. We have a lot of subscription services and various devices in the house that we use. Mostly we have Amazon sticks, but also in the front room we use the old PlayStation, the PS4. It's a great channel watcher, so, or surfer. Hey, Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto, nice to see you this evening, and Crafty and Carnivore-ish. Welcome, welcome. So we're making pancakes. ricotta pancakes. Oh, they feel nice and they're looking delightful. Oh yeah, I was making whipped cream. I know, this is a super high-tech whipped cream, you guys. So sorry about the noise. I'll talk over it. Actually, this little whisker doesn't make too much noise. It's fine. I know, whipped cream. So hard. I don't know. What do you guys do when you make whipped cream? Anything special? Sometimes I like to add vanilla and a little bit of sweetener. And sometimes I just let it be like this. Because it's going to melt on a hot pancake anyways. So it doesn't really matter. But I find that for just a small whipped cream, the frother is more than adequate for whipping it up. And I feel like it's getting done because now my frother is starting to be bogged down. Either that or maybe my... Nope, it's fine. It's just finally getting thick. Oh, Jennifer says her husband had dementia and uncoiled all of the burners. So her sister helped replace the stove. But you don't really use it. Yeah, I just find that I don't need it that often. Now, I did use it yesterday because I was feeling lazy with those hamburgers, and I just wanted to have things done. You know what's important, guys, when you make pancakes? Is to have a plate. One final flip. Yep, looking good. And so I can tell you the other thing too with these, you can see they don't immediately shrink down. They stay nice. Ricotta pancakes are awesome. But I do have a fork. Let me cut one open. And I will bring it around so you can see. As per usual. I mean, it's pancakes. It's not like that exciting, but I always feel like it's good now that we can show you. So you can see, nice and fluffy. Move this griddle out of the way. So, how about that? So they're really easy, right? I might throw a couple more on the griddle while we chit-chat. I feel like I don't need to add more butter to the griddle. So, but yeah, that's it for the pancakes. Took like hardly any time. And we'll give them a taste here in a second, but this time I would like to not burn my mouth like I do every week when I taste my food because I can't wait. Because today I can wait. Mostly because I ate like, well, that's not very round. I had a lot of corned beef. I'm not gonna lie. It was delicious and took like, by the time it was done cooking, I was really, really hungry. So, yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. Get a spoon. And you don't have to use whipped cream. You could use just plain butter. You can put syrup on there, whatever you want. I just was in the mood. I was like, if I have whipped cream, if I have cream and it's out, may as well. Oh, and J-Dog says he screen grabbed the show notes for the recipe. Fantastic. So let's give it a taste. Really good. Now, just to let you know, they are a little bit, well, there's no avoiding the word. They're more moist than your regular pancake because they're ricotta pancakes. So if you're looking for light and fluffy bready pancakes, this is not the recipe. But they do have that really, really lovely taste from the ricotta. And the, it's just, so I just have always been a big fan of them. And the lemon zest really uplifts them. So you could possibly add a little more coconut flour and thin the batter out a little bit if you would like them to dry out a little more as they cook. But I find them to be just right. Sometimes I've had them also with macerated berries on them, which also plays with the lemon and zest. So let's see. J-Dog says round is subjective. It's round-ish, good enough. Of course, I'll have to get something to put them in because really this is also like some meal prep. Yeah, so they're really good. And now I can tell you a little bit more about this coffee. So, just like the coffee we had last 2 times ago, Dark Matter Coffee is roasted in Chicago, but they source from Latin American countries. So, like El Salvador, Guatemala, Colombia, and they also are just like the previous iteration. They pay more than market price. They work. They put efforts into the communities. They do things to help the environment. All of that stuff that I really enjoy in my coffees. So, I mean, I think that's very important to me. I like to hear when they're sourcing from places. Way back when we talked about Nuyen coffee, the reason I not only are they like the delicious, my very favorite coffee from flavor profile, but keep touching my dishwasher. But they are my favorite because they import from Vietnam, but they also support their community back in Vietnam and help with the coffee farmers, the whole 9 yards, all of that stuff that I find really important in companies. And delicious, really delicious, which, you know, is a thing that doesn't always happen. Where did I put my helper? Oh, there it is. My flipper helper. But it just, I don't know. It's one of the things, not only did it win like my most disgusting coffee award, the Folgers, but also they buy below market price. They take advantage of the farmers. You know, it's very conglomerate. And so combined with their lesser quality, you know, it's just one of those things. Probably don't splat your pancake down like I just did, but, you know, whatever. Let's let that go. We'll get a plate to throw those on when they are done, because then I can cool and then I can put them in the container for storage for the rest of the week. So now you know what I'll be eating for breakfast this week: ricotta pancakes. I'll probably I have a lot of bacon right now, so ricotta pancakes and bacon sounds delightful for me. The other thing is I still have some charcuterie supplies for the mozzarella and the prosciutto wrap, or pepperoni swirls. So those are the other things. Oh, J-Dog's asking, when did moist become the M word? That is because Renee, who is not here this evening, is really bothered by that word. So I'm trying to be respectful and not utilize it as much. But sometimes it's just the most appropriate word, and I can't help it. It's hard to come up with new words for the meaning. I'm sure there are words that fit the bill. I just can't often think of them on the fly. So, and Carrie says Latin America is the best place to get coffee, but of course he's still coffee and caffeine free, right? And Jennifer says coffee is a highly shoplifted item, and she was surprised to hear that. Well, that's because coffee is expensive, even not so good coffee. Rocky Mountain Girl is saying pepperoni swirls, question mark? Yeah, so after I flatten out my mozzarella, I layer the pepperoni and then I roll it back up and then slice it into the little swirls, you know, like a cinnamon roll, but only it's cheese and meat. I will show you guys that sometime. So, because it's nice. It's a great snack. It's very, I like to make them. In fact, so far I think it was the best thing I've taken for wine tastings. Ooh, J-Dog, brilliant idea. Bacon sandwich with pancakes. You could Ooh, I can fry up an egg. Mmm. These might be a bit hearty for a sandwich, though. I have Crafty and Carnivus says they need to go back and see how I made these. They're really simple. And like I said, I tried coconut flour for the first time tonight in a ricotta pancake recipe. So I think it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty good. So I'm not displeased at all. And so I did have to add extra cream, but you can see they go right nicely on the griddle. I tried mushing it out a little extra. I have to tell you guys, this is my favorite spoon. I use it for everything, but actually this is a weird spoon. This big deep concave spoon, I believe came with like an old crock pot that we don't even have anymore. So the spoon outlasted the crock pot. Let me just squeeze that over, a little piece that flew away. So. Oh, and J-Dog says soppy just doesn't mean the same thing as moist. Mike is saying maybe succulent over the word moist. I don't think succulent is quite the same meaning, though. And Jennifer's asking if I like the almond flour or coconut flour best. I think I like coconut flour more. So, and Crafty says the pancakes look good. I mean, I think they are quite good because I'm powering through it. And I was kind of thinking, you know, usually I take a couple bites and set it aside until after the stream is done. Visual Keto says, watching on replay, nursing a sore throat. Gonna make some KC chicken with chicken broth. Yeah, that sounds soothing. If you've got a sore throat, take that chicken broth and add in a lot of seasoned salt, if you have the Redmond seasoned salt. If not, just be very generous with your salt and that chicken broth, and add and melt in a tablespoon, well, 1 scoop or 10 grams of unflavored gelatin. And the gelatin will help coat your throat. You know, it's obviously not going to cure anything, but it will help ease your symptoms briefly. The salt and the gelatin really work well together for that. So, you know, better than cough drops. So, let's see. I thought I heard the dog, but I don't know where he went. Let's see. Jennifer suggested maybe dewy. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to come up with something. But in that case, it's just one of those things. It's just what it is. So, but I hope you do get better. Did you get checked for strep? I know that strep has been going around. At least here it is. Strep has been hitting like wildfire, so I avoid people. Well, not really that much because we're going out like every Thursday night. And yesterday I spent all day with my friend. I got distracted. Heavily distracted. Oh yeah, so let's get back on track, shall we? Why do you guys just let me go off all crazy? Yeah. Pay attention, Mashreya. Stop being scatterbrained. Back to the coffee. They actually have several blends, and each of their blends is special because they do a variety of individual roasting and preparation methods. Some of their coffees, they do old-fashioned dry roast. Some of them they do fermenting, and most of their coffees are barrel aged. If you don't know what barrel aging is, it's usually something that you hear about for like whiskeys. But barrel aging happens for a lot of foods. And what's really cool about that is that barrels, depending on what has been in them, imparts a flavor to things that are aged inside the barrels, and vice versa. So if you have a bourbon barrel that was used for like 50 years, and then you put, oh, I'm a BFD. Hey, Renee, good to see you. So, we've been talking about you. So, let's see. I gotta flip these pancakes again. So, anyways, then I'll get back on track, I think. Maybe, sorta. That was not a good flip. I dug my spatula into it. Well, that's alright. Fortunately, I'm the one who's going to eat them, so if that gets a little screwed up, what difference? See? What did I tell you guys? Look at that. A vomit emoji. Anyways. But yeah, so anyways, oh, that's right. I was talking about the barrels. So if you have a bourbon barrel and you put coffee beans into it, the coffee beans will take some of that flavoring onto the bean, but conversely, the coffee will start infusing the bourbon barrel. So over time, it gets its own unique flavor, and I think that's pretty cool. And Carrie is inquiring, he's like, they use those barrels with the bourbon coffee as well, right? And that is correct. So the other fun thing, though, like I said, these guys are just like ultimately super groovy, and they really play into it with their packaging and also their advertising and stories. Their taglines here, I'm going to read from the package because I think that you guys will enjoy it. They say, in a world driven by technology and science, we are the gravitational resistance rooted in skill and philosophy, an innovative culinary family fueled by community and passion to deliver the most intellectually honest coffee you will experience. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true about them being the most. I know a lot of family-oriented small roasters, but you know, I'll give it to them. They do a lot of really good stuff. And then here on the unicorn blood, check my pancakes, almost. It says, immortal beings rejoice. Unicorn blood is a powerful concoction stylized and scrutinized to be the best all-American espresso blend we can bestow upon the planet. This cult classic highlights the quality of our partners' exceptional farming practices in Latin America, and rather than roast profile, these coffees produce a sweet, syrupy, and lively experience that is worthy of the sacrifice of a mythical beast. This global phenomenon is perfect expression and introduction to the world of our prized works. I would say yes. I don't know that I would sacrifice a unicorn if I ever ran into one, but so far I have really enjoyed this coffee that I've It does have that nice heavy mouthfeel, which I enjoy in a coffee. It's one of the things that I enjoy in that Vietnamese Robusto coffee that I talk about so much. So we should bring that back. I should order some more. Oh, yes. All right. Throw me some cakes on here. So let's see. Oh, hey, Sana has joined us. Let's see. Oh, I knew that already. I saw their hellos and I was like, what? So let's see. Oh, and we've been binging the channel. Renee has. So have I. I need to get in there and like do some likes and commenting though, so to help boost it up. But let's see. What else do we got? Oh, and Carrie likes the art on the package. Yeah, all of the art on all of their coffees are this fun, groovy style. So, which leads me to tell you guys about why I spent all day with my friend yesterday. So, I'm getting ready to join up with a new to me Call of Cthulhu campaign. So if you don't know anything about Call of Cthulhu, it's a role-play game. See, now it's time for nerd talk. So, but it's a campaign where it is based on Cthulhu type occulty lore. Cthulhu lore was originally developed by H.P. Lovecraft, but the trick about this game is in the campaigns, you do not know, because I always thought this was one of the brilliant pieces of that campaign, is You always start out, you're just a regular person who's gone through some shit. And something weird happens, and you meet other people where this something weird has occurred, and you start doing things, and you have these shared experiences, and you begin to learn some of the things. Hey Dennis, what's the question mark? So I'm sure there is a question, but I have switched. So let's see, unicorns were big rhino looking creatures. I did not know that, so I think that's pretty interesting. And Renee says she likes supporting businesses like that. No, Dyson and the cat are fighting. So, ooh, whoa, hissing and everything. You guys, it's heavy action. I apologize. Okay, I guess that's because Dyson went to get into the cat food. So, oh yeah, unicorn lore. Okay. I don't actually have any real unicorn lore, but it sounds like other people do, so that's cool. I love learning new things. I'm talking about Call of Cthulhu, though, so I'm talking about big evil things. And the other cool thing that we are doing with this campaign is the reason we're all meeting with our mutual friend who is running the campaign, individual, is our characters don't know each other. So we're all doing our introductions and writing our characters and putting it together individually. So we don't have that where in some campaigns you put things together and everybody sort of plans like, okay, who's going to be the fighter? Okay, who's going to be the healer? Who's going to be the negotiator and the talker? We don't have that knowledge because we're strangers. And again, also in a lot of RPGs, you're extraordinary beings. So, you know, you're an elf, you're a dwarf, or, you know, you're a magical wizard. If you're a human, you have special skills. And in Call of Cthulhu, you're not remarkable. Now, you do have some people who know things about like magic, or you know, some people, maybe someone plays that they're a doctor. There's a lot of different roles but they're all normal roles that you would do. And I stay true to myself. Our campaign's going to be in the 70s. And Jennifer is asking if I have played King Oil, and the answer is no. And I also forgot about my pancakes, so hopefully I didn't burn any. Nope, it's good. The only thing I don't like about is this, and it's the same problem I had pre-keto, is that they're hard to flip because they don't get solid all the way through. They stay batter-ish all the way until they are cooked. So you can see, even though they're solid, the middle part is still batter until you flip and then it cooks. And that's always kind of a pain, but that's why I love my big fat spatula. Let's see, Renee says she wanted to get her upper or lower arm measured for their 1/2 day tat session next Saturday. She's drawing up the design to trail her arm. Oh wow, that is exciting. So, and Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto says she loves hearing the fur babies. You know, I don't mind like the odd meow or bark on occasion, but did they have to fight? Like, anyways, the cat won because the cat is now here eating cat food on the other side. So, okay. I don't know what happened to the dog. He disappeared. So, oh, never mind. He didn't disappear. He's right here. I would pick him up, but I'm touching food, so he has to stay there. Let's see. Oh, Carrie says he likes to play characters that use their minds to move things. Ah, telekinesis. He thought they were cool. So yeah, you could do that in masterminds. That would be one where there would be a lot of telekinesis or things like that, because it's superheroes. Everybody has a superhero power. But like I said, in Call of Cthulhu, I stay true to myself. and I am an accountant. So, and not only that, I am puny as all get out. I made myself a scrawny middle-aged man. And not only that, because in the 1970s, here you go, now we're really getting nerdy. And of course, my friend said yesterday, I'm the first person he knew who was like very nerdy and knew things about like accounting history. I can't be the only one, but I might be. Who knows? But in the 1970s, there was sort of like a little bit of a revolution going on in terms of accounting. In fact, by the end of like 1976, government actually started putting their sticky fingers into accounting practices, something that had more or less been left to people who did accounting for a living. But they made a bunch of new laws and changes to how things like audit and stuff like that, what they meant and what they accomplished. So it was really kind of very fitting because we're going to be playing in the 70s. So it'll be nice to bring back some very old slang as we converse. And I get to use my doctorate in this campaign in my real life because I volunteered to be the person who keeps the journal in campaigns. When they have people who keep a journal, it's not from my perspective, it's from the character's perspective. Should also mention that my character has been having really bad headaches and visions. He was misdiagnosed with some things, but it's not. So, should be really interesting. Oh, these pancakes are so lovely. And as you can see, I made quite a lot of them because there's still a fair bit of batter. I'll still be cooking these after the stream. Not too much longer. Well, actually, I could probably finish it off now. I mean, it's actually normally time to end the stream, but we will continue chatting while these last pancakes cook. I probably could have just added this little bit of batter into the other pancakes, but we'll make a teeny tiny one for no reason whatsoever. Spread it out so we can pretend it's bigger. For some reason, I just made them all smaller. Okay. No one said I had to have rhyme or reason to my actions. But there we go. Made. There's our meal prep for my week of breakfast. So let's see what we've got in here. Oh, and Carrie says I use number power being an accountant. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, and Rickwin is asking Renee if this tattoo appointment is a continuation of what she already has. Ah, and Renee confirms yes, she's getting the rest of her arm filled in. Nice. Oh, that'll be exciting. And Jennifer says my character should try the carnivore diet. You know what? It's the 70s, and he's already way skinny and scrawny and pasty. I don't know if he would eat the carnivore diet. I don't know that they would think that forward back then. So after this live stream, if you are old enough to remember things from the late 70s and the early 80s, share what your favorite slang from the time was. I think that would be fun. Do that. I think that would be hilarious. Or even if you have to look some up, share it. Let's see what you guys come up with. I think it'll be hilarious. I will share with you guys as our campaign goes along, like favorite phrases that happened during the campaign. So let's see. Oh, and Dennis says the batter looks a bit drier. No, it's basically pretty much the same the whole time, so that's good, which is nice. And in theory, if I let it sit for a while, it would get a little bit drier because of the coconut flour. Coconut flour absorbs moisture, but we didn't let it sit long enough for that. Oh yeah, Rickwin says Atkins would have been in then. Maybe we will. Oh, Renee says, what you talking about, Willis? I think that's was that all the way in the 70s? I thought that was the 80s. I don't know. Hard to say. Oh, and J-Dog says gnarly. are Groovy and Far Out. Groovy and Far Out is 60s. Let's see. Oh, and Dynamite. Yes, yes. I remember that show too. That was a good one. Let's see. Oh, Rickwood says microwaves were out, largest houses, and very slow. Correct. That's an awesome thing too. Tubular. I don't know Tubular. So let's see. Cynthia, good to see you, by the way, was in Southern California when very young in the late 70s, there was a saying, that's cat, which meant that's great and that's cool. Oh, Miss Perfectly Imperfect Keto was born in the 80s. See, oh, Boogie Down, that's a good one, Carrie. Foxy, Keep on Truckin' and Kiss My Grits. Oh man, didn't you love watching Alice? I love watching Alice. So let's see, and Carrie says during the 70s we had the best show, the $6 Million Men and the Bionic Woman. Oh, I love the Bionic Woman. And Dennis says Shaft. So Groovy was also the 70s. The late 70s? I thought it went out like in the early 70s. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's a long time ago. And Renee says she remembers getting their first microwave. It was huge. So let's see. Mike also says Kiss My Grits from Alice. Man, that was the best show. I'm just trying to think of things here. I don't know. It's been a long, long time. See, this is great because you guys now you're all helping me. What about, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Let's see. See, I knew a lot of them and now I can't remember them, but let's see. Do Me a Solid was the 70s, the late 70s. I can't wait to, let's see. Bugging Out was also the 70s. Psych, yes. I think Psych was both the 70s and the 80s, the late 70s, not the early 70s. Guys, what did I do with my flipping spatula? Oh, it's in the sink. Well, not in the sink, in the bowl. I put these two close together. Oops. I almost missed the griddle. That would have been bad. Whew. Okay, now, oh, I need that. I'm too anxious to clear it up. Let's see. In Your Face. Oh, remembering Captain and Tennille. That's a good one too. Chilling at the Pad. I don't know. All right, guys. So it's 7:33. Unicorn Blood Coffee is, in fact, really delicious. It has got that nice, you know, when they say syrupy, I don't know if I would go as far as saying syrupy, but it definitely has a thicker texture. So I love that. And we will buy it again. Oh, let's see, what else? Oh, you know what? If you're getting into trouble and up to no good, you might need to book it out of there right fast. Or maybe on, you know, Wednesday night, you're just going to be chilling at the pad. Oh yeah, Jive talking. If you were cool, you were hip. And Carrie says it's only 6:33 at his house. Well, we're not in the same time zone. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Mr. Cotter. That was a good show too. Man, I wish that would come back on reruns. I would watch Welcome Back Cotter again. I don't know if it's good or not, or if I would be mortified by the things nowadays because we've learned a lot of new stuff. But it'd be interesting. All right, guys. Oh, and boogie shoes. Put your boogie shoes down. Oh, we need to boogie down. Yeah, I think we said that already. So, all right, guys. This has been great, but these last little 3 pancakes are about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my coffee and my other pancake here. I've enjoyed talking with you guys, and I love that we've been so silly here. This is the best. So, all right, I will see you guys soon, and I will talk to you guys. Let me get here onto, and I'm gonna end the stream. Good night. You have a good night, and I will talk to you all later in the week. I'll see you on Tuesday when we try that weird lemon chocolate, Ross chocolate. So, all right, goodbye everyone.